Welcome to Campfire Chronicles, the official podcast of Adventure Archives. I'm Robby Huang. We're going to go around the table real quick to find out who everybody is. Let's start out with Thomas in California. Thomas, what's your name?
Hello, my name is Thomas, I think. Yes, my name is Thomas. I live in Los Angeles, California, and I used to be in Ohio.
And who is in Ohio? Let's start with the A name.
All right, my name is Andrew. I am in Ohio indeed.
And I am Bryan, brother of Andrew, and I am also in Ohio.
We should figure out how everyone is related.
Brother Conan. Oh, we might as well do that. Yeah, I guess not a lot of people know that. So I'm Robby, and Bryan and Andrew are my cousins, and they live in Columbus, Ohio. And somehow they know Thomas. Andrew, why don't you explain how you know Thomas?
Thomas has lived next door to me ever since I was a kid. And then he moved 2 houses down, and we sort of lost connection for a while. Actually, the funny thing is, I think we kind of did, but then we became good friends again.
No, to be fair, that was between you were in high school and I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And that's a big difference.
Yeah, you were a little emo.
Can't associate with those youngins.
Yeah.
So on that note, I want to share a funny story about that. So in 2008, all of us decided to go to Yellowstone. And
2009.
2009?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was 2009.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 2009. Well, we decided in 2008. But anyways, Thomas was doing the majority of the planning for the trip. And along with that, Andrew was helping him. And then at one point I was... Oh, really? So Thomas was basically doing everything.
I guess
you weren't even helping that much.
I guess I did a little bit. Then he turned all my ideas down.
That's what I did.
Well, anyways, at some point I'm like, guys, what is Thomas? How old is Thomas? And then Andrew was like 15, and I was like, wait a minute.
He was 16, but.
Oh, he was 16.
No, I was 15. I was 15.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he was 15. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 25 at the time. And I was like, why is the 15-year-old doing the planning for this cross-country trip? But that was a great trip, and I have many fond memories of that.
We got to go back there sometime, too. That'd be amazing.
That we do.
Well, speaking of places that start with Y, where are we going on August 5th? Thomas, why don't you let everybody know where we're going?
Well, the folks from Ohio are finally coming out to visit me in the sunny, dry state of California. We're going to Yosemite. And Yosemite is about a 4.5-hour drive from where I live. And I've been there once before, back in 2011. And I fell in love with the place. And every single day, I've wanted Andrew, Bryan, and Robby to come with me back there to see just how amazing this place is going to be. So I'm excited to do that.
I was about to say, if you love it, why don't you marry it? And then I was thinking, well, if I could marry Yosemite, I probably would.
It's just a slippery slope from there, though. I'm just kidding.
I have a funny follow-up joke to that, but I won't say.
There are no Grand Tetons.
Okay, well, anyways, so I'm unfamiliar with Yosemite as a whole. I know I've seen pictures and everything, and I know John Muir is all about Yosemite. Is John Muir all about Yosemite, or am I thinking something else?
No, it's Yosemite.
No, he's Yosemite.
Okay,
you can actually go there, and they have a museum about John Muir, and they have a guy that impersonates John Muir, and you can watch one of his shows.
Lee Stetson, right?
Lee Stetson.
Oh, right. Yeah, I've seen him before. Okay, well, cool. So where all exactly are we going? What are the specific hot spots that we're going to hit?
Sure. Well, you guys are going to come in, and we're going to drive up late on a Wednesday. And the initial plan was to go to the Mariposa Grove, which is this grove of giant sequoias. And the problem is that's actually closed.
Until 2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Wow. Why?
Yeah, no, that's a long time. They say restoration purposes. So maybe they're improving trails. Maybe they're making the trails safer. I don't know. Point is, we're not going to be able to see big trees. Or if we do, we'll have to illegally get in.
I'm down for that. Let's go ahead and document that and put it on the internet for everybody to see. Illegal activity.
So we're going to spend the night near there, then the next day, we're going to try and get a campsite at one of the hardest campsites to get in the valley. There's no reservations. It's first come, first serve.
Oh.
So, guys, we're going to have to wake up at 6 a.m. and get there really early.
Do we have a backup plan if we can't get any?
Sleep in the car.
Yeah, kind of.
Never again.
No, the backup plan is we make friends with somebody who already has a campsite there. Be like, yo, guys, you want to be in the video? or we just pretend like we belong there.
I got a lot of backup plans. Many of them, we'll have to just follow suit as it happens. But worst case scenario, we hit the trail one day early.
Oh, yeah, that might be good, actually, because...
just make our trip a little longer.
Get part of the uphill out of the way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I am so excited. I cannot wait. This is going to be so much fun.
All right, so we get our campsite, and then we're going to do a day hike just to kind of get acclimated to the high altitude. And that day hike is going to be, it's a loop. We're going to start off on the Mist Trail. And it's called the Mist Trail because as you hike it, the mist from the waterfall covers absolutely everything. It's hard to see the sunlight come through just because it feels like you're hiking in a wet cloud.
Have you actually been there?
I've done this hike before. It's beautiful.
Sweet.
So once you make it to the top of that waterfall, there's another waterfall you go to, and that is going to be Nevada Falls. So once we get to Nevada Falls, that's almost halfway up Half Dome, but we're not going to be doing Half Dome this time. So we're going to cross that river and then circle back down on the John Muir Trail, a different way. So it's a nice, healthy 6-mile loop that we should be able to do. There's a lot of up involved, so we can start training for the...
There's like 8 miles of up, right?
When we first start backpacking, but that's a day hike.
Wait, what? Oh,
Okay, well, that's okay. Anybody who's listening won't know what the heck we're talking about anyways. It's too confusing without a map. But so basically day 1, we're going to just start with a loop. And then that's to get us acclimated for day 2 or day 3?
Day 2. Day 2 in the valley, I should say. Day 2 is when we're actually going to start backpacking.
Oh, that's what I was thinking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, when we start backpacking, where are we going to go? Like, what are the hot spots that
what's that big view called?
Okay, so you're going to start off, and there's going to be about 100 switchbacks or so, and then we're going to... our first big view is going to be at the top of Lower Yosemite Falls, which you look up and you see some falls, you look down and you see some falls. So it's more than 2 scoops of raisins.
Just make sure you see the falls and don't fall yourself.
Yes. Well, let's hope that the falls are there. They might be dry by the time.
That's true.
But we'll see. And then after that, we're going to make it up to the top of Upper Yosemite Falls. Oh, man. Which, if you've ever seen Lord of the Rings, that stair step that Frodo and Sam take up to whatever the spider is. You know what I'm talking about?
Not really.
Yeah, the spider. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what I'm talking about. It's all right. You're basically just on this foot-wide stair built into the side of a mountain, and you don't want to fall and die.
Wait, is it like right on the edge then?
It's right on the edge, but the nice thing is like it's not 1,000-foot death. It's only maybe about a 5-foot fall.
Now, is this on day 2?
This is day 2 in the valley, yeah. Day 1 of backpacking.
So basically day 2, the big thing is the falls, right?
Yes.
Now, are we camping on the falls that night, or how does that work?
We're camping near the falls at a place called North Dome, which gives you a great view of Half Dome right across from the valley.
Sweet. Okay, well then, so on day 3, what are we doing?
Yeah, is that all downhill from there?
Day 3, it's going to be significantly easier. It's going to be kind of a small, easy downhill hike until we get to this crossing where the trailhead crosses a stream. So we should be able to fill up on some water there and pitch a tent.
Sweet.
Okay, so then day 3, what is like the main attraction?
All right, on Sunday, our last day, it should be in the morning, one of the hardest things we've done, which is going down one of the steepest exits of the valley.
Huh.
And once we hit the bottom, it's all flat from there. We keep hiking, and then we'll pass by Mirror Lake, which is a beautiful lake at the foot of Half Dome. And we will pop out on the other side, take a bus back to our campsite, and head home.
Sweet. And then, so what's our post-hike meal? Do you have anything planned, or are we just going to find something?
Well, it depends on how fancy we want to get.
Man, I want to eat the finest raw elk available.
Let it stir into the oven and bring it out. Wait, are we camping at Mirror Lake, or by then are we already on the way out?
I don't think we're allowed to camp by Mirror Lake, just because that's too close to civilization.
That steep downhill you were saying, is that while we're hiking out, or do we camp before that?
We camp before that.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll say
right before that.
I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'd much prefer downhill than uphill anyway. So, compared to the uphill we're going to do the first day of backpacking, it'll be nice.
We're going to take our sweet time on that.
Yeah,
I'm down. So, what is the total mileage that we're looking at doing?
I think it's about 17 miles. Does that sound right, Andrew?
Yeah, I think so.
Over the course of 3 days?
Over the course of 3 days.
It might even be worth doing the first day. Like, I don't know.
What?
I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe it'd be worth doing the first day part of the uphill, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know, because you can't camp up on there. You have to do that all in one day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very popular hike, which is why we should plan on leaving sooner if we want to start filming.
Cool.
It's
well, that
one of the more
sounds
popular
like
ones.
a lot of fun. So we're doing that in a little over a week now, right? A week and a half.
Oh, man.
Yeah. In 2 weeks, we will be sitting on top of a mountain looking at Half Dome.
Awesome. Okay, well, I'm kind of curious what you guys are going to bring for food. And I know what I'm going to bring, but do you guys have specific things in mind that you're going to bring?
I'm bringing dehydrated stuff only, like lightweight dehydrated meals.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, I'm actually was planning on discussing this with Thomas since we've got to fly over there.
Yeah.
You know, what stuff would be practical to bring in the first place, and what stuff should we just, maybe pick up while we're there or something like that. I don't know. It's just something. I had nothing fancy planned at least for the time being.
I don't want to carry a glass jar. I don't know if you're going to do that, Robby, but I'm not carrying it.
I'm probably going to use a plastic jar for my sauerkraut. And then I'm just going to have beef jerky. Beef jerky and sauerkraut.
Didn't you just make a comment about that actually at Red River Gorge about how, like, you were like, why am I always carrying a glass jar? I don't need this glass jar.
Well, not only that, but I bring a half gallon. Like, a half gallon for 3 days is, like, way too much.
Yeah.
Now, are you
Got kraut for days.
Are you going to be bringing that kimchi on the airplane?
No.
Heck, he's going to be eating it on the plane. Let that infiltrate everyone's
They might not even
nostrils.
let that because there's liquid in it. We all know
Yeah,
how.
I don't know how the liquid works. If I have to check it, I'm just going to check it.
We all know you can make bombs from kimchi juice.
That
bomb.
fermented gases build up in that glass jar.
Honestly, I don't know. If I can borrow your dehydrator, I might cook some meals and then try to dehydrate them as is.
Oh, you know what? The dehydrator's still at the house.
Oh,
so
really?
you can just pick that up
Oh,
anytime.
yeah.
I forgot to bring it home. So
Well, that's another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the first 2 days that we're hiking, there probably isn't going to be much water for us to use. So we're probably going to want to try and avoid some stuff that involves a lot of water for cooking.
Well then.
Well, on that note, I'm bringing coffee. We are having
All right.
coffee on the trail. I don't know. I got to research how exactly we're going to make it, but I think I'm going to try to get a little French press for it. But
Have you seen what? Wasn't it your friend who had a little hand pressing thing for his coffee? Was it? Do you remember that, Andrew?
yeah, that's called a
Someone
French
was
press.
I mean, I've seen the stand-up ones where you actually. I didn't know the handheld one was a standard typical French press too. I thought those were kind of designed to be more portable and compact for people who are on the move.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I don't know, but the one that I would bring is small. It's glass though, so I'd have to find a way to.
Oh no. Well, see, because okay, so I don't remember who it was, but anyways, I had worked with someone who sat in a desk across from me, and he would often make coffee in the morning, and it was almost like a syringe. He would put the coffee grounds in this thing, and then he would literally press it by hand, the coffee through it. So you didn't need like a glass container or anything like that. And then it would just kind of like press the coffee out to another end of the syringe.
That's cool.
Have you heard of that?
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, I mean, as a suggestion, you could look into that because that would probably be more conducive to travel and camping.
I'm not.
Cool.
I don't know what I'm gonna do about the water thing because I want to bring really lightweight stuff, but.
Well, you have to bring water.
No, I mean.
What? There's no
No, I mean in
argument
terms of
there, like-
dehydrated meals, because like.
Oh. Well, I mean, what did you say, Grievous? 2 days? I think we can.
I don't know that
Yeah,
uphill
2
is gonna
nights.
Well,
bring a
anyways,
lot of water.
we're getting off track here.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, and in any case, I think everybody's excited. We're going to have to find some water sources, and hopefully the drought in California is not so bad that we're, by the end of it, dying or something. Although that will make for a really good, entertaining episode if that happens.
We did just have our first thunderstorm all year last weekend.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a
So-
bit encouraging.
Just a quick side question. Where exactly does California get its water from then? Is it like they ship it from New Mexico or something?
Well, it's funny you ask because I kind of did some research on this. The Sierra Nevadas, a lot of the snow that happens up there kind of, melts once it gets a little warmer and goes into this Kern River. And there's tons of reservoirs down in the southern part of the Sierra Nevadas. And then there's these aqueducts that go from the Sierra Nevadas through the San Joaquin Valley and kind of pop up all throughout Southern California.
Hetchy even supplies water to San Fran, doesn't it?
Yeah, up north there.
Yeah.
Boy, this is riveting.
I was quite entertained. But
Well, the reason I
Okay,
say
well-
Hetchy is because it's Yosemite related, but
Yes.
yeah, Hetchy. That's such a strange name. Like all of these, like the Tetons, Hetchy, like those words don't exist anywhere else in the language. Okay, so I think that's it for the Yosemite trip. Is there anything else that you guys want to add about the trip itself?
I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, looking forward to dying.
I want to see you
on-
guys.
on the
Just
uphill.
like on that note, I love trips where you actually have to fly to get there because it feels so much more like an adventure. Like you feel like you're actually like really going somewhere. Like if you have a car to fall back on, you can always have all your stuff in there and then you can always drive somewhere else. But if you fly somewhere, you're there. Like you can't just like leave at the drop of a hat or like, like retreat to like your little base camp or whatever. So you really feel like you're doing something like different and new and exciting.
Man, it's gonna be good.
It's going to be real good. Okay, cool.
want
Well, I think, Thomas, do you want to stick around for the next segment or do you have to go?
I have not been contacted by the person that's requiring me to go. So if we want to talk about personal things like who we are and stuff, I'm down to stick around. But if you're going to talk about Red River, I probably should head out.
Okay, well, if we're going to, let's just go ahead and talk about personal things. Since this is our first episode, we can use this as kind of a way to introduce ourselves more than what we just did at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, Thomas, on that note, why don't you just start and then give us your background in whatever you want to talk about and
Whatever
your
I
current
wanna
life
talk about.
situation. Yeah.
So Andrew kind of said that I grew up next to you guys. Well, not Robby. Robby was in Indiana. But I grew up next to Andrew, and I've kind of always had an affinity for outdoor things because was it the creek that we used to go up and down?
Oh
Andrew?
yeah. We'd go to the
Yeah,
park too a lot with our families. and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, we did. Your family would always take me to high banks, and my family wouldn't take you anywhere because I guess they don't love you.
Well then.
So
On that note,
No, we used to like swing on vines and look for fossils and.
Hopefully your parents don't listen to this, Thomas.
so yeah, we used
no,
to
they'll
swing on
probably just
vines.
be like, yes, that's true. I don't love Andrew.
Bad influence.
Oh, I was just talking to your dad, and I have some good stories. I need to remember what it was, but anyway, go on.
So we would do some hiking here and there. We would follow this creek up and down our backyards and pretend to get in epic sword fights and stuff like that. And we always kind of wanted to go and do bigger, cooler things. And then one day we just said, sure, why not? You guys took me to Hocking Hills. That was the first time I ever went camping.
Wow, really?
Okay, well, hold on. We need to do a quick aside on this. Well, finish your thought real quick. Hold on. Sorry.
I was going to do my Hocking Hills story. I fell in love with Hocking Hills.
Yeah, before you get into that, I want to clarify something. I want to ask Andrew a question because I can't really remember. The details are kind of fuzzy. Mm-hmm. But when did we start getting interested in the outdoors? Was it like right before Sunjan took us to Hocking Hills for the first time?
I think.
Who's Sunjan?
So Sunjan is my brother, and in 2007, which was the year I graduated from college, he took me, Bryan, and Andrew to Hocking Hills, and that was like our first experience ever, like camping. Mm-hmm. Like we've done camping before, where you take a car and you park in an RV lot, and then you get in a tent, and then some people call that camping. I call that garbage. Anyway, our first real experience was when my brother took us camping to Hocking Hills. But I vaguely remember that we were getting interested in it before then, or am I just remembering that?
No, I think it happened when we went to Sleeping Bear. Like, we went to Torch Lake with my family.
Oh, right,
and,
yeah.
like, we borrowed one of my dad's friends' houses right by the lake and got, like, kayaked on the lake. That was amazing. Then we drove up to Sleeping Bear and hiked on the dunes. And I think that's really where, like, the seed was planted. Because I actually remember having a specific thought, like, I don't know why I never realized this, but I was like, wow, there's actually like sun rays that are visible like in the sky. And like, for some reason I thought that was just something in a cartoon or something like.
Yeah, no, that's funny because like those God rays you see in clouds, like you see those all the time in the skyboxes in video games. But until then, in 2006, when we went to Sleeping Bear, I didn't realize that those were real either.
Yeah, like we never bothered to look or something.
I don't know what was wrong with us. We were inside too much. But yeah, now that you say it, I guess Sleeping Bear in 2006 was when we initially like really started to get that bug and that itch to go outside and explore. So anyway, after we went to Hocking Hills, we took you to Hocking Hills, Grievous?
Took me to
Thomas?
Hocking Hills. Yes.
Quick aside. Thomas's nickname is Grievous from Star Wars, General Grievous. So if I ever say Grievous, that's who I'm referring to.
Yeah, it's just kind of stuck since
we insisted on it sticking.
Since for forever. Yeah, so it was a February weekend. I remember that. And it was a bizarrely warm
March, I thought.
Weekend. Yeah, was it March?
Yeah, it was during my spring break. We had just visited Robby in New York and we came back.
Oh, that's right. Well, it was really warm for a winter month, I remember. And we went to Hocking Hills, and it was great. It was a little chilly, but still seasonably warm.
All of us and Danny and Carl, who are...
Okay, so it was that trip, right?
And Danny is your cousin on the other side of the family, Robby. And Carl's his friend who wore a flight suit.
Carl is his friend whose actually name is Adam. But you don't ever remember his name, so...
Well, he goes by Carl.
You should know... people should know that this team kind of came about from a bunch of late night Halo matches.
Yeah, it's funny. Like a lot of friendships have been made over Halo. Like a lot of people. Somebody I was talking to. Oh, right. Somebody thought that Thomas was Asian.
No, yeah, it was your cousins. So your cousins were coming to Ohio so we could all meet up for this, and Thomas invited them to his church's fish fry. And they're like, okay, look for an Asian guy, because obviously Andrew and Bryan's neighbor will be Asian. And Thomas...
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, Thomas was like, well, Robby's cousin's got to be Asian. So they're both looking for Asian guys. And they're all white.
So we meet up, we go to Hocking Hills. We all have an amazing time. We find this like really cool abandoned staircase made out of rocks, and we go under a waterfall, and it's just... phenomenal.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
We get to the campsite that night, and we can tell that the temperature is starting to drop, and it's acting the way it should for a March day.
This is the best story.
Andrew and I are sharing a tent. This is the first time I've gone camping with Andrew. And we hear a rumble nearby, and we can tell that a thunderstorm's coming in. The wind starts picking up, and we're like, okay, we should probably get ready for a thunderstorm. We look up and we're like, oh crap, we didn't put the rain fly on.
I don't think they even brought a rain fly though. Like the tent.
No, they didn't, did they?
Yeah, it was their fault, not ours, man. that's my side of the story, at least.
we're sitting there and we're like, okay, we can, we're men, we can sit through this.
Yeah, we were like, if Les Stroud can do it, we can do it.
Exactly.
Well, if Les Stroud can do it alone in like the boreal forest, then we can do it in Hocking Hills at a campsite
next to our car. So the wind picks up more. It's getting even colder now. Now it's like in the 40s, and we're not like prepared for this at all. None of our sleeping bags are appropriate for this. And so eventually it starts raining, and you can hear it first on the tent, and then it starts coming inside. We're like, okay, it's going to pass real soon. It's just a
we can
light
tough
shower.
it out. We can tough it out.
About 10 minutes later, there's about half an inch of water in our tent, and we're like, okay, screw this. We're going in the car. So we just leave everything in the tent.
And what's funny is when we get in the car, we're so cold, and there's no blanket or anything, and we're like, oh man. Well, we got to do it. We got to cuddle. And we were huddling together in the back and like eating these stale tortilla chips or something. and then Robby comes in and he's like, oh man, it's cold. And he pulls the rug off of the floor of the car and puts it over him. And I'm like, oh crap, there was something after all that I could use.
So instead of floor mats, you guys just had like these little rugs.
Yeah.
So for some unknown reason, I didn't pack any blankets, any sleeping bags, nothing.
Wait, really?
I just had hoped. Yeah, I don't know what the crap I was thinking. I just assumed somebody else would bring. So all I had was a coat. And so I come in and then I'm just like, oh God, I need anything. And then I just like pulled those off the ground.
And then through the night, Danny comes into the car and he sleeps in there too. And the next morning, the only two people left outside are Bryan and Carl. Carl, who has a flight suit on. Yeah.
No. Danny was one of the people who had the flight suit. I think Adam was in the car with us.
No, Adam had the flight suit.
Adam had the flight suit.
Okay, well then Adam and Danny both had flight suits because Danny definitely had a flight suit.
And then
they also had a circus-sized tent. Like literally, it could house like 50 people.
And then the next day, we opened the tent up. He's in there, covered in a sleeping bag, like 50. You're like, no, the only thing you can see. Wait, go ahead.
I took everything that Robby had abandoned in the tent and used it to cover myself and made it through the night.
You had like a hoodie on and you had it like pulled all the way and like there's one single string. So it looked like you were like a mosquito like with a little proboscis.
The lesson that you can get from all of this is that you don't need, like, especially if you do like these low risk type of things like Hocking Hills, you don't need any equipment or any experience. Because it's actually like kind of a good learning lesson or a learning experience because you go through something like that, you will never have a crappy sleeping bag again. You'll be like, I will never, ever sleep like that again.
Yeah,
I will fix this.
It's true.
If you don't feel the urge to like look into that, you will after you do that.
Yeah.
I should mention that before the rainstorm, Thomas found on the map a nice lake, and we all decided to go there and watch the stars. And those were some of the most amazing stars I had seen up to that point. Like, there's just so many.
Were we actually able to see the Milky Way at that point?
I think we were
really
able
faintly,
to see
but
like the dust of it.
If we were, we probably weren't aware of the fact that we could see it because we were just so inexperienced.
It was super.
No, we were specifically looking for the Milky Way.
I don't think we could see it. I think like maybe we thought we did, or it was super faint, but.
Oh well, in any case, the Milky Way is great. Try to see that if you can.
Check it out, kids. All right. Well, I think this is my cue to go. Maybe we can touch on everybody's personal life every new week. So thanks, guys, for listening to me. But these guys have some great stories to tell about something else that isn't related to me.
All right.
So
well, I think we'll just go ahead and end the episode now since you got to go. And I think this is a nice stopping point anyway.
Sounds good.
Yeah, this has been episode 1 of Campfire Chronicles, the official Adventure Archives podcast. It's July 24th, 2015, and it's 10:49 in the evening, except for it's 7:49 for Thomas.
And we can go ahead and put that fire out. You can edit that sound effect in later.
I saw how you were scum.
Add a trickling sound, like just water, just like peeing it out.
Okay, I will be sure to record all of this and make it very high production values and everything. So don't worry.
All right.
Okay, we will see you guys next week. We're going to be doing this podcast every Friday, so it'll probably release every Saturday. So you can find us on YouTube at Adventure Archives. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Adventure Archives. You can find us on Twitter at ADVARCH64. And you can find us on Instagram at Andrew. What is our Instagram?
Adventure Archives.
Adventure Archives. Okay. And then, so use any of those four methods to contact us. Like, share, subscribe. Yeah. I mean, tell your family. Watch it with your family. This is a family-friendly show.
Oh, yeah.
You know, a Prairie Home Companion is retiring Garrison Keeler. Well, Garrison Keeler's retiring. So, you know, after he leaves, we're a good replacement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was sunny on the old Great Plains.
Tell me more.
All right.
And remember,
Red River Gorgeous.